Hi, Romans here, and in this video I'm gonna tell you about how I wrote the music for Distant Faces in the Dark. The song dates back to the year 2013, so I kind of wrote it around the same time as I wrote Fake the New Kind of Beauty. And the music for the most part remained intact from the original version. The only thing that kind of went through some edits is the instrumental mid-section. This was also one of the songs that I was performing with Slip of the Lip, along with Wrong Doors and Pioneers of Modern Narcissism and some of the tracks from the first album.
For too long, my faults in the SOP. You couldn't let go over every bad. In my past, I was not a loss. I just didn't inside. Listen, faces in the dark. Faces in the dark. Won't you tell us about that? Still we go to that hotel.
Originally, the mid-section had this little part where, even though it sounded cool in Guitar Pro 5 where I wrote it, it wasn't really doable live. I mean, maybe Dream Theater would be able to pull it off, but it just sounded like a mistake. It was so strange rhythmically that even the drummer that we had in Slip of the Lip, he told me, look, I will do my best to do it exactly in the way you wrote it. It's just always gonna come off as a mistake. And you'll be able to hear the example now. So I knew that that part needed to be edited out and changed. That's actually something that I kind of rewrote for the album, because if you write something super complicated to the point where it's complicated for the sake of being complicated, meaning that nobody is going to be like, wow, that's a cool part, but people will be like, what exactly were you trying to do there? So I just wanted to make it a bit more graspable for musicians. I think that that whole midsection is really, really cool. It sounds very orchestral, like a symphonic heavy prog, but it all actually came from what I came up on a guitar. I'm very proud of this part, and this was one of the things I was very worried about, how it would translate to the instrumentations of drums, bass, saxophone, and keyboard, so no guitars, because this was one of those things that I totally couldn't imagine on any other instrument than a guitar. I actually tried to translate it exactly like that on a bass, so play basically that guitar section on a bass guitar, but it didn't sound very good. Generally with the bass guitar, if you play more than one note at the same time, it's not gonna sound very good. So it was really about the keyboards to play all the harmonies. And the only new section that I edited was actually that part that comes after the break. The whole mid-section is just, for me, one of the highlights on the album, because generally Distant Faces in the Dark is like this alternative rock song with a little bit of like a symphonic touch, but that whole mid-section basically moves it more to the progressive rock territory. I would say that in a way this song is similar to the track Away to a Post from the first album. They're both actually in the same key, don't tell anybody. Kind of the idea behind both tracks is that you have songs that are below 4 minutes, but you've got like a lot of things happening. You know, like here you have a riff, then you have a verse, then you have a chorus, then you have instrumental section 1, instrumental section 2, a totally different chord progression in the section for a saxophone solo, then altered riff, a choiry section. So there's always something happening. How to avoid one of the biggest cliches in rock and metal music. The cliche I'm talking about is when a song starts, you may have some sort of a riff or whatever, and then you have, for example, 2 verses before the bridge or before the chorus. And usually the first verse is kind of laid back and the singer sings lower, and then when the song kicks off, the singer starts singing the other verse an octave up. Very good examples of that are, for example, Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden, where he really starts in that lower register. He eventually moves up there. Biggest hits from Halloween, I Want Out and Future World. Both of these tracks, written by Kai Hansen, actually have the same structure. For example, Mysteria by Ed Guy. When he starts singing, there's just a guitar playing, he's singing lower. Then when the whole band comes in, he starts singing an octave up. Even I did that on the first album in the tracks We're Building Our Own Monument or Fake the New Kind of Beauty. It's a very traditional thing and it's very natural, and basically in Distant Faces in the Dark I totally reversed it. When the riff ends, you hear the riff. Basically the riff is kind of repeated in the verses, it's being played as the background for singing. Drum groove is laid back and the synth is playing an octave lower and I'm singing higher. And then as the song kicks off, I start singing lower, the drums kind of start pushing the song forwards with the groove. Even the synth goes up. First of all, I'm gonna show you the verse, how it would sound in a sort of a traditional way, where I would kind of follow the pattern of starting lower and then going up. This may take a few attempts because I'm kind of used to singing it the other way around. For too long my faults took the best of me. I couldn't let go of my own regrets. Rambling in my past, I was kinda lost, I just couldn't forget. And now how is actually in the song. For too long my faults took the best of me. I couldn't let go of my old regrets. Rambling in my past, I was kinda lost, I just couldn't forget. For too long my faults took the best of me. I couldn't let go of my old regrets. Rambling in my past, I was kinda lost, I just couldn't forget. I haven't really heard anyone do that before, even though I'm pretty sure that it has been done. It's either that I don't remember a particular track like that or just I haven't come across it. So if you know anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. This may be just a good inspiration for you to take a certain cliche and maybe reverse it so that you still kind of use it, but you use it in a way most people wouldn't. One of the very cool things about the verses is also the bass guitar. Basically the whole time I'm playing, and it may not seem like much, but actually it's kind of like going around the rhythm. Considering that we are in 4/4 time signature, it would be kind of like, or, but what I'm doing is actually I'm keeping the same rhythm, which is actually super hard. Just try that. For too long my faults took the best of me. I couldn't let go of my old regrets. Rambling in my past. And this interesting rhythmical thing would be probably more audible if we had guitars, because it's only the bass guitar that is doing it. And this is actually why after the first chorus, when another verse starts, there's no synth, so that you can actually focus on that groove on the bass guitar, how it's going pop 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 pop. Years went by and I still held it crutch. Same old movie in my head, round and round. Analyze how to turn accidents into great musical moments. I tried to make every chorus a little bit different. This is something that I kind of explored and explained with the track Lonely Crossings. Basically, we hear the chorus 3 times in this track, and every time it's a little bit different, especially that. Also, every chorus has different lyrics, which I'm gonna explain in how I wrote the lyric. Also, I really love how in the final chorus, you can hear that very high note on the saxophone. And this was actually just, I don't really want to call it a mistake, but it wasn't really intended. This was a track where Lucas was pretty frustrated with it. I still remember when he came to record this track, that might have been actually his second session in my studio recording saxophones for the record. He didn't know the song. He had spent quite a few hours learning the track before we actually recorded him. There were moments where he was really frustrated. He just kind of like played his high note and I was like, that's great, let's do it again. He was like, whoa, no, I don't want to. I had to work with what I had there, so I just put it in the chorus. These unresolved things from before. And the same thing is when the final chorus ends and we go back to the riff and there's It was just, again, something he tried, maybe out of frustration or just having fun or not wanting to replay the same section again and again. And I was like, dude, these are great things. Let's do it again. Let's do it properly. And he was like, no, it was just, it doesn't have to be there. Just work with what you have. So I took those little moments, I put them in the chorus, and sometimes these little accidents can turn out to be such cool things.